What's going on, everybody? This is MJ with Bleeding Green Daily. So, I'm a Philadelphia Eagles fan, big Philadelphia Eagles fan. I used to give myself heart attacks over the Philadelphia Eagles 24/7. Now I tend to chill out and calm down because as an older guy, I love watching the team, still get hyped about them, still ride or die for my team, but I don't let them stress me out anymore. I just really don't. They used to stress me out, but I don't let them stress me out anymore. So what I expect to be doing this year is pretty much just analyzing things, analyzing situations, analyzing problems, analyzing concerns, analyzing whatever content, whatever things are out there, whatever there is to discuss, all related to Philadelphia Eagles. I plan on doing that. And so what I want to start with is the coaching search. Many people are underwhelmed with the coaching hires and with the head coach. So let me just say this. While I will temper my judgment one way or the other, I'm okay with these underrated picks. I'm okay with these less knowns and these new potential ideas because it works. And it's worked here. That's the biggest thing. The one thing I can say about Lurie is that he tends to go and find guys who are able to create beautiful teams, beautiful rosters, beautiful staff. And they are always seeking new ideas and new ways to win. Now, most people are probably sitting there saying, what do you mean? The big name guys, they're winning, they're doing what they're doing, their names are out there for a reason. Yes, but a lot of times these big names are retreads, or they're riding the coattails of retreads. And what I mean by retreads, if you're not familiar, these guys are used tires. We've already kicked the tires on these guys before. We've seen their philosophies a billion times with several different teams. We've seen their ups and we've seen their downs. We've seen their highs. We've seen their lows. Their philosophies are not changing. So it's just recycled NFL ideas. It's recycled. And recycled means that the league already knows what you're getting in these guys. There's no room for mystery. You pretty much know what you're getting. And the rosters, a lot of times that they're choosing rosters and players and types that fit their scheme, and they go with it. In particular, the thing that I do like about Nick Sirianni is he is an unknown. Yes, he comes from the Colts organization. Yes, he came from the tutelage of Frank Reich. So you can assume that he may be taking some concepts and some ideas from that offense and from that coach and some of his philosophy. At the same time, he's grabbing guys from the Chargers. He's grabbing some guys from the Chiefs. This guy has been on 3 different teams in under 3 or 4 different rosters. And those rosters have had some turnaround. They've had some different head coaches there. They've had some different offensive coordinators. They've had some different staff here and there, year in and year out. So he's been around a lot of different offensive minds. He's been around a lot of defensive minds, and he's seen a bunch of different things. So while he will take some ideas and some concepts from people that he's already from the last regime that he just left, and he may even favor those things, those philosophies, because of who he tutored under. I also believe that with all these other ideas and concepts, he may want to instill his own philosophy and put in some things that maybe he wasn't allowed to do, or some ideas or some creativity that he wasn't allowed to do under somebody else's name. If I'm the head coach, you're doing it my way. That's just as simple as it is. But when you get your chance and when you get your call, you can do things a little differently. Other thing is, he comes from a coaching family. I believe his father and his two older brothers all coach, whether high school, college, or at some level. They've all coached. And I think his father even has some big name records in the local town that he's from. So you're coming from a coaching tree. Your dad had some coaching concepts and ideas that you probably liked and do and run. Your brothers have different philosophies and different things that they might do, or some things that they do similar. You have the Chiefs offense back when he was with the Chiefs. You had the Colts offense back when you were with the Colts. You have the Chargers offense back when you were with the Chargers. You had different quarterbacks who did different things, and different players on those teams, and different things that you had to understand. He is a wide receiver first and foremost. So obviously a lot of his philosophy is going to come from his perspective as a receiver first and foremost, but then he was also a quarterback coach. So some of those things are coming from his times as a quarterback coach as well. So what I expect to see and what it's looking like, because of who we've hired, the OC that we hired from the Chargers, Patullo, however you say it, I might be jacking it up, the passing game specialist. All of these guys come from different regimes and have some different things that they like. It looks like they're going to do what Doug Peterson and Frank Reich did back in 2016, which is bring a bunch of offensive minds together, create a playbook, and go off of that playbook. And yes, it will have some Colts bias to it. But I think there's some other elements and some other things that'll be at play as well. So, I don't mind this playbook. I don't mind this head coach, because we're getting some fresh ideas, a fresh perspective. We're also dipping into a formula that we saw be successful with us in 2017 with Frank Reich here. And yes, you could say Doug Peterson called the plays. Doug Peterson did call the plays. But Doug Peterson was calling plays from a playbook that him and Frank created. And I'm sure when him and Frank were game planning, some of Frank's game day philosophies mixed with Doug's game day philosophies, and they were able to get the best of both worlds. And the reason I say that is because we were more balanced running the ball in 17, but we got a little bit more pass happy in 18 and 19. And that could have been Carson, and that could have been Doug, and that could have been what we had as an offense. It could have been a number of things. But I do think that some element of balance was there because of Frank. And I think that's what Carson's been missing the last couple of years. On top of coaching, he's missed a balanced offense. Not the defense doesn't know whether or not you're going to run it or pass it. Yeah, they know pass is probably the thing with Doug. So they can guess pass, but as long as we're running the ball consistently, they would have had to question it. But we haven't been running the ball consistently. So if you're pass happy, you haven't been running the ball as consistent, and the defenses know that you're passing the ball on a regular basis, then you're taking a lot of the guesswork out of it. We know you're going to pass. So for the most part, we're going to attack the pass. And if we know that you're going to pass the ball, and we know a lot of your offense was verticals, getting the ball down the field, then I know Carson needs time. And if Carson needs time, I'm going to get up in his face and I'm going to hit him. So we definitely have to do some things to scheme, do some things to trick, do some things to get our players open, do some things to scheme the defenses and attack the weaknesses of their defenses, and just change things up a bit. And that is where I'm kind of relieved that Doug is gone. Definitely didn't want Doug gone. Definitely thought he deserved to stay a little longer. But if there's any benefit to him leaving, it's maybe some of that past happiness dies down just a tad bit. Maybe we run the ball a little bit more, become a little bit more balanced. We're actually going to game plan for the teams that we're playing. So if it's a run happy, a run strong defense, we'll pass against them more. If it's a good passing defense, we'll probably run a little bit more against them. These are things that we saw and heard in terms of Nick Sirianni talking, or people talking about his scheme. So I love the fact that we're going to scheme for who we're playing, meaning that if we're playing a ferocious pass defense, we need to run the ball a little bit more. I've also heard that he is going to scheme our guys open, and he's going to play to the strengths of the personnel. Like, even though Doug's formula worked in 2017, like, I don't understand how you can have an offense and you don't play to your personnel strengths. You don't play to your quarterback strengths. You don't play to what the defense is giving you. You're just going to go out there and do your own thing and hope we can catch fire. These aren't ways to be successful. And it worked for you in 2017. That's why we couldn't question you or call you out on it. But those aren't things that are going to make you more successful. Last thing, he went out and got a defensive guy who is probably going to, in Gannon, who is probably going to give us more of a Mike Zimmer looking defense, which I would love, especially if we draft some linebackers. But his specialty is DBs. So depending on what we do with the defensive line, if we keep everybody, if we have a strong defensive line, we can get the DBs straight and at least get me a premier linebacker. Don't care which round it is, just give me a good linebacker who will do his job and be solid. Like, we can really do something with this defense. So I'm okay with these new ideas. The other thing with the retreads when it comes to defense is everyone knows this guy's scheme really well. At least with these newer people, there's a little bit of mystery to it. There's a chance that you have some different concepts from different places and different regimes that might change up. And it's not just the ideal retread that you already know with this particular guy, that particular guy. You know this guy's going to be cover 3. You know this guy's going to be cover 2. This guy is a little bit mysterious, so we don't know what we're going to get from him. And he's been a couple of places, so we don't know exactly what kind of defense. We do know it's going to be a 4-3, and we do know that they're going to blitz more. That is from what I'm reading and researching. We do know those two things, but we'll see. But hey, it was nice meeting you, nice talking to you. Hopefully you got some intel and some information from this. After the coaching search is completely done and we know all of our coaches, I'll dissect this thing and try to see and give you my opinion on it. I'm not going to oversaturate you with videos because I don't really do this for money. I don't do this for the clout. I don't do this for any of that. I do it because I love my team and I like breaking down things. And a lot of times I'm driving back and forth, taking care of errands, doing what I got to do for work or whatever the case. And I'm just talking out loud pretty much. So, once again, this is MJ with Bleeding Green Daily. Have a great day.